R.I.C.H coming right back at you. And today we gotta talk about Gilbert Arenas, Underdog Fantasy, and what happens when a man builds a house but don't own the land underneath it. Because this story ain't just about a contract expiring, Skip Bayless showing up, or Gilbert Arenas feeling like his people were moving funny while he was away. This is about ownership. This is about loyalty. This is about learning the hard way that if you don't own the cameras, the lights, the editing, the channel, the platform, and the infrastructure, somebody can always walk into what you built and start moving chairs around. And that's a painful lesson, especially when your name is on the door.
I hate R.I.C.H? No, I don't hate R.I.C.H. That's my guy. I'm not sure they like me anymore. I don't know. I'm gonna just let y'all know, no different than NBA. Just remember this, chat, words are powerful. Just like in the NBA, when people start writing, the team is better without them, that player read it, that player believes it, that player starts acting like it. You know, so if y'all saying the show is better without me, hey, and the producers them say, oh, hey, you know, fans, you know, they don't care if he's here or not. And hey, but I'm on vacation, so you know, I don't need to be at work. I think I'm finals. I think I'm on a finals duty, not this one. So the channel, not the show. There's a channel. I think you know. I think people usually purposely not here. I think I said this like a couple months ago that my contract is up this year, and then after my contract's up, I will own the name of my show. I thought I said that. And I think they purposely, nobody wanted to listen. I did 50-50 ownerships to get the foundation because I had no idea what it took to run shows. So now I understand how to run shows. So I don't need, I don't need to do 50-50s no more. That's it. There's nothing, it's called growth.
That's the part that hit me right away. Gilbert Arenas is not sitting there sounding like a man who just lost his job. He sounds like a man who realizes he built value inside somebody else's system. And when the business shifted, he had to step back and ask himself, what do I really own? That's a different kind of pain. Because when you the face, people think you're the owner. When your name is in the title, people think you control the room. When the show is called Gil's Arena, people assume Gilbert Arenas can't be cut off Gil's Arena. But business don't care about your assumptions. Business cares about contracts, control, equity, distribution, and who has the final say when the meeting ends. And that is where a lot of athletes, artists, and creators get caught. They bring the personality. They bring the audience. They bring the culture. They bring the moments that make people watch. But somebody else brings the infrastructure. And that somebody else usually ends up with the leverage. Now, Gilbert says his contract with Underdog expired and he walked away on his own terms. And he also said Skip Bayless coming in was not some personal beef and that him and Skip are cool. They even play golf together. So this is not about making Skip the villain. This is about the feeling Gilbert had when he looked around and saw people talking like the show could keep running without him. That's a different kind of hurt. Because when you start something, you don't expect to become optional inside your own creation. And I don't care how tough a man is, that will sit in your chest. Gilbert compared it to a locker room, and that makes perfect sense. In sports, when the people start saying the team plays better without you, the player hears that. He reads it. He feels it. Then, even if he tries to laugh it off, a little piece of trust got cracked. Because now you're wondering who really values you and who was just enjoying the benefits of your name. And that brings us to the part with Nick Young. When Gilbert Arenas got arrested in 2025 over that federal poker case, Nick Young went online and joked about changing the name of the show from Gil's Arena to Swaggy's Arena. Now, I understand friends joke. I understand locker room humor. I understand that men who have known each other for years can say things that look crazy to outsiders. But there's a time and a place for everything. When your friend is facing federal charges, that ain't the moment to turn his legal trouble into a comedy routine for the internet. Because the internet don't know the difference between a joke and a betrayal when the joke fits a narrative. And if you Gilbert, you sitting there like, hold up, I put you in position. I helped you create a stage. And now, while I'm dealing with real life, you online playing with my name? That's not a joke anymore. That's a trust issue. And trust is the real currency in a creative relationship. Money matters, but trust decides whether you can sleep at night while somebody else has access to your dream.
You gotta use take the sugar daddy out your ears, y'all. 27, 29. I got fired with 100%. It don't matter. It don't matter what you say. Just understand. 100. 100. 100. Studio downstairs. You feel that? Do you see the difference? Michael Jackson. All right, I'm not gonna say it again. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Michael Jackson. Okay, that's it. That's all I can give you. Thriller's coming. Shut up already. Okay? I'm an owner now. I don't want to hear nothing. This channel says Gilbert Arenas, huh? It says it. It says Gilbert Arenas, don't it? Ain't nothing happened at all. My contract's over. That's it. Mine was over before everybody else's. That was it. That's all. That's it. Ain't nothing happened. No beef. Me and Skip, we play golf every Wednesday. I know. I get it. It just happened suddenly. Hey, Skip getting that bag. He getting that bag. Like, I don't know why people think like Skip came to replace me, y'all. Stop. That's like I said, me and Skip golf. It was supposed to be me and Skip. Skip was supposed to be an addition. Skip came there for me. Y'all remember how we got skipped? We got the Skip, like me and Skip. So I convinced him to come and do the football, and then after football do basketball. All good, Gil. About to make another 200. I'm in that role now.
You can hear something deeper than just business. You can hear a man trying to process how the people around him responded when he was no longer physically in the seat. And that's where Brandon Jennings, Rashad McCants, Nick Young, the producers, fans, and everybody around that ecosystem became part of the conversation. Because sometimes people don't have to directly say, we don't need you. They can make enough little comments, play in the little jokes, and let enough little narratives breathe until you feel it anyway. And once a man feels like he's being written out of his own story, he starts moving different. That's only human. People can call Gilbert sensitive if they want to, but words matter when they come from people inside your house. Now, a stranger can say something and you could brush it off. But when the people who eat with you start sounding like the comment section, that one hits different. Because now it's not just noise. Now it feels like a preview of what they really think. And this is why ownership matters so much. When you own your operation, people can leave, people can disagree, people can be mad, but they can't take the foundation from under your feet. When you don't own it, you can be the face today and a guest in your own house tomorrow. This is why every creator needs to study this. You may not have underdog money. You may not have a big studio. You may not have a full production staff. But if you learn your cameras, your lights, your sound, your editing, your upload process, your thumbnails, your titles, and your distribution, you are building freedom. It may take you longer. It may cost you more time in the beginning. You may look crazy learning how to do things that other people make look easy. But that knowledge becomes your insurance policy. Because the day somebody says we don't need you, you can say that's fine. I know how to build this myself. That's the difference between being the talent and being the infrastructure. Talent waits for a call time. Infrastructure creates the call sheet. Talent acts where to sit. Infrastructure owns the room. And if Gilbert Arenas is now building his own studio, that tells me he learned a hard lesson. He may have learned it through pain, but sometimes pain is the most expensive teacher and the most honest one. Patrick Beverly understands the same feeling because Pat Bell said he was surprised after being sidelined from his Barstool show, even after his legal issue did not move forward the way people thought it would. He felt like the show had his name, his energy, his personality, and then when the trouble showed up, the machine kept moving without him.
We jump right in to basketball, right? I want to talk about the Gilbert Arenas thing a little bit before we get to the basketball. I didn't know Gilbert Arenas got Pat Deved off his own show. I didn't know this. I was wondering why Brandon Jennings, his energy was getting a little different. He was tweeting a lot more. He was speaking a lot more. I didn't know they Pat Bev Gilbert Arenas off his show. I didn't know they move like that. I see, and no one knows why. Y'all got to give me a reason why. Gilbert Arenas. And then I was wondering why Brandon Jennings was like, yeah, our show is the #1 show out. I'm like, our show? Like, what the is he delusional? That motherfucker Gilbert Arenas. That's a Gilbert Arenas. That's a Gil's Arenas show. So you're telling me they kicked this man off his show in his house? Come on, man. Come on, Gil. Gil, you got to give me something, Gil. You got to tell me the truth, man. You got to tell me the truth, Gil. Gil, you got to tell me the truth, man. Because I was just getting messages from Rashad McCann on how you don't like working with y'all. And all of a sudden, you off the show, Gil? Come on, man. Give me something, Gil. Give me something, man. Give me something, man. We'll be a hell of a duo, I'll tell you that. We'll be a hell of a duo, Gil. Then kick Gilbert Arenas off his show, man. But how does that work, right? A company or brand uses, his likeliness, right? My likeliness when it comes to, the Pat Bev show. You get everything out of it. And then the people around can reap the benefits, help boost them. And then you get booted off your own show for whatever reason. I don't get it. I understand. I mean, the business of it, of anything. Like, you have a group of guys who's around for a ton of time, and next thing you know, you put them on, and because it sounds like everyone's using somebody. We call it in Chicago, we call it crabs in the barrel. Everybody's using somebody to get out or get up top. It happened to me. I guess it could happen to anybody, no matter what company, no matter what color backstabbing. It was your own folks. They look like us. So yeah, Gil, man, I hate to see you going through something like that, man. I don't know the whole ins and outs. I watched, like Underdog ain't never doing like that. They say, man, that man, they done Pat Bev, man. They done Pat Bev to kick that man off his own show. And they still doing the show in his house.
Pat Bev is basically giving you the same warning from a different locker room. When you build something inside somebody else's company, you better understand the rules before the trouble comes. Because when things are good, everybody is family. When the numbers are up, everybody is locked in. When the money is flowing, everybody is smiling in the same picture. But when the legal issues, bad press, contract questions, or power moves show up, the word family gets quiet real fast. Then it becomes business. And business will make people sound cold even when they used to call you brother. That's why I don't want to look at Gilbert and say he should have knew better. Yes, a man has to read his contracts. Yes, a man has to understand ownership. Yes, a man has to know that everybody smiling for him is not necessarily building with him. But we also have to think about loyalty. Because if a man brings you into his ecosystem, puts you on camera, helps you build value, and then he hits a rough patch, and then you start clowning him for public points, you don't have to feed the narrative that he is replaceable. You don't have to make his absence feel like a celebration. A real team holds the seat down without trying to steal the chair. That's the difference. And maybe some of them were joking. Maybe they didn't mean it that deep. Maybe Gilbert took it harder than they expected. But when you are dealing with a man's name, his business, and his legacy, you need to be careful with your jokes. Because a joke can become a knife when it lands in the wrong season. Now, the great part about this story is that Gilbert didn't just go home and cry. He started building. And that's the part I respect. Because a lot of people talk ownership after they lose something. But very few people go learn the boring parts of ownership. That's the real work. And that's the part that separates a celebrity with a show from a builder with a platform. Gilbert Arenas has personality. He has stories. He has basketball knowledge. He has the kind of unfiltered energy that makes people watch even when they disagree with him. But now he has to turn that into something he controls. Because the next phase of media is not about who can talk the loudest. It's about who owns enough of their operation to survive when the partnership ends. So if Gilbert felt betrayed, I understand it. If he felt unwanted, I understand that too. If he felt like people were too comfortable playing with his name while he was dealing with real life, I understand that too. But the best response is not talking about who was loyal and who wasn't. The best response is building something so solid that loyalty becomes a bonus, not a survival plan. Gilbert Arenas may have walked away from Underdog, but if he learns the right lesson, he didn't lose the arena. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe, establish R.I.C.H. I'll be back with another one. Peace.